In a startling revelation, one of the last alleged victims connected to Sean Diddy Combs has come forward to share a harrowing account of exploitation and abuse involving some of Hollywood's biggest names. The testimony sheds new light on a dark network of manipulation and control, implicating prominent figures like Steve Harvey, Ashton Kutcher, and Demi Moore. This insider's story reveals disturbing details about how power was abused behind closed doors and how careers and reputations were leveraged to silence victims. As more voices join the chorus demanding justice, this latest account adds a critical piece to the puzzle, exposing a troubling culture of secrecy and coercion at the highest levels of the entertainment industry. A closer look at alleged connections: Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore. Ashton Kutcher's journey to stardom was marked by his breakout role on the beloved sitcom That 70s Show, where he charmed audiences with his comedic timing and boy-next-door persona. Publicly, Kutcher appeared to be a wholesome, rising star in Hollywood. However, behind the scenes, troubling stories suggest a more complex and darker narrative surrounding his personal and professional relationships. Rumors have surfaced, alleging that Ashton Kutcher was once deeply entwined with Sean Diddy Combs' inner circle, a connection that allegedly influenced some of his private relationships. A mysterious and unexplained breakup with his longtime girlfriend and co-star Mila Kunis fueled speculation in Hollywood circles, as no clear reason was ever publicly given for their split. Not long after, Ashton was romantically linked to Demi Moore, a Hollywood icon with a storied career and a history marked by personal struggles. Demi Moore's life has long been the subject of public fascination, not only for her professional achievements, but also for her difficult upbringing. Raised in a challenging environment reportedly filled with exploitation and trauma, Moore's history is complex and fraught with emotional scars. The allegations involving Diddy and their indirect connections to Demi suggest a troubling cycle of abuse and manipulation extending across generations and within powerful social circles. The Steve Harvey controversy. Alleged blackmail and control, Steve Harvey, known widely for his affable on-screen persona and family man image, has also been implicated in this web of allegations connecting him to Diddy's controversial network. According to leaked reports and insider accounts, Harvey has allegedly been subject to blackmail by Diddy for many years, based on purportedly compromising footage obtained at parties hosted by the music mogul. These allegations extend further, with claims that Harvey's daughter was romantically involved with Diddy when she was just 22 years old, while Diddy was in his early 50s. Such an age gap and the circumstances surrounding these claims suggest a dynamic of manipulation and exploitation hidden beneath the polished surface of celebrity culture. It is also suggested that Diddy played a significant role in advancing Steve Harvey's career, fostering a toxic relationship built on control, dependency, and mutual benefit. This dynamic, if true, would exemplify how powerful individuals use their influence not only to maintain silence, but also to shape the trajectories of others' public lives for their own ends. The disturbing freak-off parties, allegations of a culture of abuse. Central to these emerging allegations are the so-called freak-off parties, private gatherings reportedly hosted by Diddy, which insiders say involved some of Hollywood's elite in activities that include serious legal and moral violations. Accounts from eyewitnesses and former security personnel describe chilling scenes where underage individuals were present and allegedly subjected to abuse and neglect. One former security team member recounted being shown videos depicting Steve Harvey in compromising situations with minors. Such footage, it is claimed, was used by Diddy to maintain leverage over high-profile celebrities, ensuring their loyalty and silence through intimidation and fear of public exposure. If these allegations prove accurate, they paint a harrowing picture of a normalized culture of abuse, within exclusive circles, where the powerful exploit the vulnerable and illegal acts are concealed behind the veil of celebrity. Demi Moore's troubling past and alleged involvement. Demi Moore's childhood trauma and subsequent experiences provide a painful backdrop to this saga. It has been claimed that Moore's mother was complicit in allowing abusive behaviors during Demi's youth, allegedly permitting exploitation in exchange for financial gain. This cycle of abuse, according to some sources, persisted into Moore's adult life, where she may have either enabled or been involved in enabling harmful activities connected to Diddy's network. A resurfaced video from 1982 showing a young Moore in a vulnerable state alongside a teenage boy named Philip Tanzini has reignited discussions about her early experiences and susceptibility to exploitation within Hollywood's darker corners. The footage raises questions about how trauma and exploitation may have influenced Moore's later life and relationships, highlighting the long-lasting impact of abuse on survivors. Hollywood's pedophilia crisis. Patterns of power and exploitation. The allegations involving Diddy and his celebrity associates are not isolated incidents, but appear to be part of a broader, deeply troubling pattern within the entertainment industry. High-profile scandals involving figures like Jeffrey Epstein, R. Kelly, and Harvey Weinstein have already exposed how influential men have used their power to sexually exploit children and manipulate others for decades. In this context, Ashton Kutcher's alleged involvement becomes especially striking. Known publicly for his anti-sex trafficking advocacy and efforts to combat exploitation, video evidence has emerged that seems to contradict his public persona. Allegations of inappropriate behavior toward minors and close friendships with convicted sex offenders, such as Danny Masterson, a former That 70s Show co-star, have raised serious questions about Kutcher's true motivations and complicity. Witness accounts and verified evidence. Several credible insiders and former industry professionals have come forward with accounts alleging that Sean "Diddy" Combs used his influence to control and manipulate various public figures. According to these sources, certain private gatherings reportedly included underage individuals, and participation in such events was sometimes seen as a pathway to greater fame or career advancement. These allegations also point to a pattern of intimidation and blackmail, where sensitive material may have been used to keep individuals silent and maintain their loyalty. One disturbing testimony involved an international account in which vulnerable children were placed in harmful situations under the guise of entertainment. This source, speaking anonymously, described how some victims were led to believe that inappropriate behavior was a form of trust-building or mentorship, an alarming tactic meant to confuse and control. While much of this information has yet to be verified in a court of law, the consistency of multiple accounts has raised serious questions about systemic abuse in the entertainment world. The allegations and early context. Ashton Kutcher's disturbing experience. Ashton Kutcher's history in this saga is marked by both confusion and controversy. The story begins with unsettling allegations involving Kutcher himself, which emerged amidst his connection to Danny Masterson, his longtime friend and former co-star. Kutcher has publicly denied engaging in inappropriate acts, specifically stating he never kissed the accuser, who was a young teenager at the time. The young woman recalls that while Kutcher was friendly and even comforting given her fear, there was an uncomfortable incident involving a bet where a friend dared another to French kiss her. Despite the pressure, Kutcher claims he never actually crossed that boundary. She described a defensive technique of blocking the kiss with her teeth, a vivid image that highlights her efforts to protect herself during this troubling moment. This testimony paints a picture of vulnerability, fear, and the difficult power dynamics at play on sets where young actors are surrounded by older colleagues. Kutcher was reportedly around 14 years old at the time, an age when confusion and fear could easily complicate any interaction. Yet, despite the unclear boundaries, the allegations about inappropriate conduct never fully materialized in legal charges against him. Instead, the focus shifted more heavily onto Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson's conviction and Ashton's controversial support. Danny Masterson's 2023 conviction for rape shocked many fans and colleagues alike. The criminal charges stemmed from long-standing accusations by multiple victims describing horrific abuse. However, Ashton Kutcher publicly supported Masterson throughout the trial, going so far as to submit character letters to the judge. Surprisingly, Mila Kunis, Kutcher's wife, also signed these letters, despite reports that Masterson had harassed her in response to their support of him. This support caused shockwaves. Many found it hard to reconcile Kutcher's stance with the seriousness of the accusations, especially considering the potential trauma faced by the victims. Later, both Kutcher and Kunis apologized for their support, acknowledging the pain their actions may have caused victims. The deeper question remains: why would Kutcher support someone convicted of such a heinous crime? Some speculate it was loyalty to a friend, denial, or ignorance of the full scope of the abuse. Others suggest Kutcher's own fears and secrets, including possible blackmail or knowledge of incriminating tapes, may have influenced his public behavior. The shadow of Sean Diddy Combs, allegations and ties to high-profile scandals. The story takes an even darker turn when Sean Diddy Combs enters the picture. Known as a music mogul, celebrity, and socialite, Diddy's alleged involvement in numerous scandals has long fueled rumors and investigations. Kutcher's silence on many of these issues is allegedly because Diddy may have compromising material on him, including video recordings from infamous parties and events. These gatherings, often referred to as freak-off sessions, were said to be wild, secretive affairs held at Diddy's mansion, where the elite mingled in an atmosphere rife with substance abuse and alleged exploitation. Videos and tapes from these parties reportedly show numerous celebrities, many intoxicated or under the influence of drugs, engaged in intimate acts, some involving individuals who were possibly underage or unable to consent. Courtney Burgess, a close friend of Diddy's ex-wife Kim Porter, testified before a grand jury and turned over multiple tapes to the FBI, revealing just how extensive this network might be. The FBI investigation and the role of leverage. The alleged involvement of the FBI in the growing controversy surrounding Sean Diddy Combs underscores how far-reaching and complex the accusations have become. For years, whispers of blackmail, manipulation, and control have followed the music mogul. But recent reports suggest the situation may be far more severe than once believed. Sources claim that Diddy collected compromising material, videos, photos, and recorded conversations of celebrities, politicians, and industry insiders. This so-called leverage was allegedly used as a means to maintain control over individuals who might otherwise pose a threat to his empire. In many cases, these people reportedly had no memory of the events captured, fueling speculation that they were drugged or coerced at private gatherings. Such leverage gave Diddy significant power in both the entertainment and political realms. Individuals with promising careers, ranging from up-and-coming musicians and athletes to diplomats and royals, were said to have been caught in these compromising positions. Whether or not every claim proves true, the very existence of these allegations has shaken the public's confidence in the systems meant to protect vulnerable people. Celebrity reactions and the fallout. As news of these allegations spread, celebrities once closely associated with Diddy have begun to distance themselves. In a world where image and association mean everything, many are quietly deleting photos, skipping industry events, or even issuing vague public statements about the need for accountability in entertainment. Some former collaborators have reportedly agreed to cooperate with law enforcement, citing fear that the tapes will eventually be made public. The threat of exposure has triggered a cascade of reactions, some defensive, others remorseful, and many cautious. Demi Moore, among the most high-profile figures linked to the scandal, has come under increasing scrutiny. Though no official charges have been brought against her, speculation swirls around her former ties to figures within Diddy's alleged inner circle. Industry observers believe Moore, along with others, may soon have to address past associations and answer questions about what they knew and when. Should the alleged footage surface, it's expected to shake Hollywood's foundation, upending careers and prompting a deeper examination of long-standing practices within the industry. The civil lawsuits and broader legal implications. Parallel to any federal investigation, a wave of civil litigation is building against Diddy and those connected to him. These lawsuits focus on claims of misconduct ranging from exploitation and abuse to trafficking and enabling toxic environments where such behavior was normalized. Attorney Tony Busby, representing several alleged victims, has become a central figure in this legal push. He has promised full transparency and vowed to hold not only perpetrators but also enablers accountable. His team is currently compiling testimonies, evidence, and corroborating accounts in preparation for what could become one of the most consequential legal efforts in modern entertainment history. These lawsuits have already implicated major record labels and corporate executives, some of whom allegedly looked the other way or even facilitated access to events now under scrutiny. The civil claims are expected to expand in scope, with plaintiffs pushing for systemic reforms as well as monetary compensation. The cultural and social impact. What this means for Hollywood and beyond. This growing scandal is not merely about a single individual or one set of parties. It reflects deeper, systemic flaws in how power is concentrated and wielded in entertainment, and how vulnerable individuals are often left unprotected in the pursuit of fame. Behind the scenes of glamorous parties and red carpet events, the allegations suggest a darker subculture where coercion and manipulation could thrive without consequence. The normalization of silence, loyalty at all costs, and fear of retaliation are themes echoed in testimonies from various corners of the industry. Public opinion is shifting. There's a growing call for greater transparency, protections for young and vulnerable individuals in entertainment, and reform in how allegations are handled by both law enforcement and industry bodies. Advocates are urging Hollywood to re-examine the cultural values that have enabled secrecy and abuse for decades. The broader implications could reach into politics, sports, fashion, and even international diplomacy, anywhere Diddy's influence is alleged to have extended. And for those with skeletons in their closets, the fear of exposure may only grow as more victims come forward. A careful legal approach. Due diligence before naming names. Despite public curiosity and media pressure, attorneys involved in the ongoing lawsuits are emphasizing caution. The goal, they assert, is justice, not sensationalism. "We're not going to name people carelessly," one attorney said. "This isn't about headlines, it's about accountability." While public interest is high, the legal team insists that any individual identified in court will only be named if there is credible, verifiable evidence supporting their involvement. This includes direct testimony, physical evidence, and corroboration from third-party sources. Given the gravity of the allegations, the process is both deliberate and meticulous. Legal experts recognize the impact of naming a public figure in connection with such serious claims. It's a step that can permanently damage a reputation, even if no charges are filed. As such, every name mentioned will undergo rigorous review to ensure the claim meets legal and ethical standards. Still, one sentiment has echoed throughout the legal community and among victim advocates. If someone was involved in wrongdoing, if they were truly in the room when harm was done, they must answer for it. The first wave: disturbing stories from alleged victims. What has emerged so far are chilling accounts from individuals claiming they were manipulated, exploited, or abused, some while underage, others while vulnerable or incapacitated. In one case, a minor was allegedly told by Combs that he could help launch his career, so long as they had a private meeting away from the teen's parents. The details that followed remain under seal, but are said to form a central part of the impending legal complaint. In another account, a 15-year-old girl was reportedly flown to New York to attend a party. She later described losing consciousness and awakening to a situation that, according to legal filings, suggests severe criminal misconduct. She allegedly wasn't the only victim present in this setting, hinting at the possibility of broader collusion or a pattern of predatory behavior. One adult woman recounted being picked up at the airport by individuals allegedly associated with Combs. After consuming a single drink, she blacked out and woke up with severe physical injuries, her clothing missing. She had no recollection of the prior evening and was later treated at a hospital. These accounts, while anonymized and still under investigation, illustrate a recurring theme: power, access, and secrecy used to allegedly victimize vulnerable individuals. Alleged evidence and the role of the FBI. According to multiple insiders and legal analysts, the FBI has assumed a pivotal role in the ongoing investigation surrounding Sean "Diddy" Combs. Reports suggest that federal agents have secured extensive hours of footage, capturing private parties, business meetings, and intimate gatherings across Combs's various residences and properties. This trove of evidence could prove critical, not only for the mounting civil lawsuits, but also for potential criminal proceedings that may arise. One attorney closely following the case remarked, "If these tapes truly reveal what people are saying, we're looking at a complex network of involvement that extends far beyond just one individual." The implications are staggering. A web of complicity possibly reaching into multiple layers of the entertainment, political, and religious spheres. Sources indicate that the recordings may feature a variety of prominent figures, from entertainers and politicians to influential faith leaders. According to an insider familiar with the operations, most of these people were completely unaware they were being filmed or recorded. But Diddy? He was always watching. This suggestion of premeditated surveillance raises troubling questions about control, consent, and the abuse of power. A crisis of faith in cultural icons. Beyond the immediate legal ramifications, the scandal threatens to shake the foundations of public trust in cultural and spiritual leaders alike. Several reports hint that prominent pastors and religious figures might be implicated in the recordings, a revelation that could deeply affect communities of faith. A community member voiced concerns shared by many. People often place their trust in pastors instead of directly in their faith. If the tapes reveal what some fear, it could lead to heartbreak and disillusionment for countless followers. The potential exposure of religious leaders in such a controversy risks causing a crisis of faith far beyond the entertainment industry, calling into question the integrity of those who hold spiritual influence. This aspect adds a unique and sensitive dimension to the scandal, underscoring how the fallout could ripple through different facets of society, not only impacting careers and reputations, but also shaking personal beliefs and communal bonds. What comes next? Subpoenas, testimonies, and fallout. Legal experts anticipate that the pressure on alleged participants will escalate significantly as more lawsuits are filed and subpoenas are served. Many of these individuals won't come forward voluntarily, one investigator explained, but when faced with legal orders and the possibility of criminal liability, they'll be compelled to talk. This legal momentum suggests a turning point in the case, with key witnesses and alleged participants potentially changing the narrative as they decide to cooperate. The discovery process, including depositions and testimony under oath, could uncover new details that either corroborate or challenge current allegations. With multiple lawsuits poised to proceed and a growing list of high-profile names reportedly under scrutiny, the entertainment world is preparing for major upheaval. Industry insiders suggest that the coming months will reveal which public figures were passive observers caught in the storm and which were active participants. The broader public, meanwhile, may soon have to confront uncomfortable truths about some of their favorite artists, actors, and cultural icons. The fallout is expected to be far-reaching, reshaping perceptions and prompting calls for accountability and reform within entertainment and beyond.